PFG iTech on Saturday, and today being officially your first day, and the second year students who have entered a year back, possibly seen a year as an engineering student and entering into second year, which is an important year in the evolution of any engineering student. I take this opportunity to congratulate both of you. முதல்ல குறிப்பாக பிஎஸ்ஜி ஐடெக்ல கடினமாக படித்து உழைத்து பெரிய கனவுகளோடு இங்க வந்திருக்கிறீங்க. அதற்காக உங்கள் அனைவருக்கும் என்னுடைய நெஞ்சார்ந்த வாழ்த்துக்களை தெரிவித்துக் கொள்கிறேன். அந்த உழைப்பு உங்களுக்கு மட்டும்தான் தெரியும். அசாதாரணமான உழைப்பு கிடையாது. மிக கடுமையாக உழைத்திருக்கிறீர்கள். எத்தனையோ பரீட்சைகளை பாஸ் பண்ணணும், கன்சிஸ்டண்டா நீங்க கிளாஸ்ல டாப்பரா இருக்கணும், விடாமுயற்சி, அதெல்லாம் உங்களை இங்கே கொண்டு வந்திருக்கிறது. சில பேர் சின்ன கிராமத்திலிருந்து வந்திருப்பீங்க. இவ்வளவு பெரிய அரங்கத்தில் இருக்கக்கூடிய சில நண்பர்கள், சில குழந்தைகள் உங்க ஃபேமிலிலேயே ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஜெனரேஷன் கிராஜுவேட்டா மாற போறீங்க. And some of you might be the first graduate in your whole family, in your whole lineage of family. And some of you might come from a small village, possibly the first person from your village to enter into an engineering college. And some of you might come from an urban area, and probably you might not have seen what a village is. And you have also come here. So it's a great mix of group. Great learning will happen over the next 4 years. And everybody will come and tell you this, but I mean it when I say this. The pillars of our country, the future nation builders are sitting here. With innovation, with your spirit, with your never say die attitude, you are going to build a great country. And I'll explain in my slide why I say that with numbers and data to just give you a buttress that you will build India in the next 22, 23 years. 2047 is a marker year. So whatever I say, whatever I speak, it is going to be applicable to your first 2 decades of your life. After you graduate, the first 2 decades of your professional life till 2047, because that is when 100 years of our independence, it is getting over. 1947, we got independence. 2047, we are looking at a marker year. With this, I once again congratulate you, once again welcome you. And 2 great gentlemen have come to the stage with me. And one happens to be my own principal when I studied in PhD Tech, Professor Mohan Ram. That's why I took blessings by falling at his feet. And the person who was instrumental in making a lot of us. And he continues to teach even now. And his daughter also continues to teach. His father was also a teacher. So a generation of family that has given itself to the society only to impart knowledge to all of us. I respectfully bow my head in front of him. The other, a dynamic young principal, who I knew as a HOD some time back, last 3-4 years, beautifully building this PFG iTech into a global brand. Professor Saranakumar is also here. I take this opportunity to wish him well also. I got a slide for you because first day I didn't want to take a risk, and because it cannot be a monologue for long and long. So I have some slides which I thought I'll leave it back to you also. And this is your first step, but 1,000 possibilities. And what you choose to do over the next 4 years, so much possibility, so much momentum you're going to create. And that image shows very happy looking children. I made it through artificial intelligence yesterday, and all the pictures was created using AI. And possibly I'd love to have your smiling pictures maybe a year from now in that slide. And we'll go to the next slide, Anna. So I thought, okay, you're going to learn more theories and laws and principles over the next 4 years. I thought I'll just talk about 4 laws today before I get into the data and numbers. 4 things that you should remember over the next many, many years of your life. The first one, I felt you should remember something called the law of unintended consequences. And life doesn't go as per plan. And many of you never chose to come here. And some of you might have chosen to come here. And many of you were never chosen to take this degree, and whatever degree you have taken, and some of you might have chosen to take this degree. The sum of choices that you made over the last many years, it has brought you here. For example, a person like me, when I entered PhD Tech, because my friend got into PhD Tech, day 1 of counseling in the morning, so I was also hell-bent in getting into PhD Tech. So each of us have a unique story why we want to get into PhD Tech, and some of you might have a different story. And all the choices you make, you cannot predict the outcome in the future. What will happen 10 years from now, 20 years from now. Because none of us can plan our life. And the friends you make, you are not even sure. It is all new friends you make. They might become your colleagues. Some of you might become your partners in the future also. And 10, 20 years from now, this law, when you look back, it'll work wonderfully well for you. The law of unintended consequences. So you got to accept that reality to make sure that I'm not going to plan everything. Sometimes life is a flow. We just have to enjoy whatever we are doing. And some of you might not have got the course that you wanted. No, I wanted that course, computer science or EC, I don't know, whatever is the flavor in the market now. But I got this. But maybe, like Steve Jobs once said, when we look back at our life later, all the dots will beautifully connect. You will know why you entered PhD Tech, PhD iTech. You will know why you entered this course in PhD iTech. Possibly you have taken this course in PhD iTech. It has opened some possibilities for you. And you have taken employment with the first company after 4 years. So each step, it is a complex system you are part of, and it will create a lot of possibilities and opportunities for you. Just embrace it. Don't resist it. Don't fight it. The whole idea I'm trying to convey is be happy today, and be happy as long as you are in PhD iTech. Embrace the course you have taken, and right, wrong. There's nothing called right and wrong, and you will see this theory operating 10 years from now very beautifully. And I will operate here. And again, I think young boy standing outside the industrial area with a trunk box, and possibly I think that is me, 2002, coming from a village, wondering what am I doing in Coimbatore, what am I going to do next many, many years. And this law, it has created a lot of memories. Two of our classmates have chosen to stay back with the alma mater and teach the next generation. And also the friendships that we made. New friends, new opportunities, new ways of looking at life, new connections. So this will work for you. Just embrace it and just go with the flow. Don't resist too much. God has a plan, you have a plan. Both will eventually merge. The second one I thought, before I begin into very serious issues, is a law called the Goodhart's Law. It was given by a British economist in 1975, a person called Charles Goodhart. And I wanted to just spend some time reading this. It says when a measure becomes a target, it loses its effectiveness as a reliable indicator. And to paraphrase to the current context, when a measure becomes a target, and you all have come here, day one, everybody will talk, you got to have a certain grade, certain mark, certain attendance percentage. There is a measure, there is a target. And if all through the next 4 years, if our life becomes chasing targets, meaning that to get a better placement, can I get A grade, can I get this grade, that grade, can I score all the time about 90%, then what happens, you will always find a way to get those marks. When a measure becomes a target, it loses its effectiveness as a reliable indicator. And my humble appeal to all of you is over the next 4 years, measures are important, targets are important, don't confuse both. Getting a pass mark, very important. Getting a good grade, very important. Getting a 10 out of 10 grade is very important. But your life should not be consumed by only chasing that. That's why there is a cartoon next to it. It says, when you ask a person to make nails, if you just think about, measure the people on the number of nails made, he will make smaller nails. If you measure the person with respect to the weight of nails made, he will make only 3 nails, which is very big. Both the nails are useless. The bigger nail is also useless. Very small nails is also useless. So the target and the measure, you got to be very clear. Okay, I got to hear, learn new things, improve myself. If my communication is weaker, let me get better at it. If my personality, I have to improve it, focus on it, be a part of many clubs, become sociable, become knowledgeable, become worldly wise. These are all measures that you should do it along with the target you are chasing. So just don't chase blindly only at a target. The paradox of choice. Your generation has got so many choices. You open a Netflix and research says people scroll 7 minutes in Netflix only to decide what movie they want to watch because it's so much movie. And you keep scrolling, you open it for a minute, again you close down, and some of you might experience it, or Amazon Prime, or whatever it is, even Swiggy, food you want to order, there is so much food. So now your generation, the problem is, it has got a generation with plenty of choices. And innovation never grows with plenty of choices. The problem is, a person who has got too many choices in front of him, when you come out, you are a rich man, you got 10 cars standing outside, you don't even know which car to board. Or you open your wardrobe in the morning, 15 dresses, 20 dresses, 30 dresses. You will take 5 minutes to understand what dress I should wear. So now you got to clearly understand, somehow you got to artificially limit your choices over the next 4 years. So that you should have a comfortable choice, lesser choice. You should be happy with that. So that your mindset become better to grow over the years. I'll give you some examples. Mark Zuckerberg, the Meta head, Facebook head, Instagram head. If you look at Mark Zuckerberg's dressing, he uses a simple dress, always same color, uses a grey color sweater, always he wears it. Steve Jobs, till he was alive, black sweater, turtleneck sweater he wears. Barack Obama, 2 suits, blue and black. Monteng Singh Ahluwalia, our former economist, blue color turban. Manmohan Singh always used to wear a blue color turban. If you keep studying the patterns of many people, they limit their choice because they don't want their mental energy to get wasted only in picking up among the choices. And this choice is generally seen as a positive thing, but in your case, you have so many choices. And my request to all of you is start drilling down, start focusing, specialize more. By the time you come out of college 4 years later, be clear where you want to get into it. Innovation, teaching, entrepreneurship, startup, working for a company, whatever be it is, don't allow too many choices to spoil you because you will never make a decision eventually. So this is the problem all over the world now. Now we are calling that as a choice-driven paralysis. The researchers are calling this as a choice-driven paralysis. More choice, you are not able to make a decision. Cobra effect. Sorry, the last theory. I'm not going to speak any more theory after this. The Britishers felt India has got too many cobras. They felt very uncomfortable. They said, okay, anybody who catches a cobra, I'm going to give you money. We are very smart, you see. So first the available cobras we caught, we gave it to Britishers, we took money. Then we felt it is not enough. We started cultivating cobras. We started creating a farm. We started cultivating more cobras. Then we started going and giving it to British. We started making more money. British understood, okay, my aim is to catch cobras, which is in the public domain. And these people have started a cobra farm. The Britishers said, no more money I'm going to give. Nobody should bring cobra. So what we did is, all the cobras we have cultivated, we again released back into the wild. So all the cobras came back. So now we have to understand the cobra effect in your life. When you start chasing a target, when you start focusing only on a single thing in life, marks, which can be quantifiable. So end of the day, it will paralyze you after a point of time because you will do anything and everything only to do that. You will become a unidimensional student. So just to illustrate, I kept this example because it works in sociological perspective all the time. So I'm again going back. So if you look at it, the 4 theories that we mentioned, the 4 theories that we mentioned, the law of unintended consequences, you can't plan everything, it will just happen. You got to embrace it, feel happy with what you got because it will take you to better places. And we mentioned about the good hearts law, measure and target, don't confuse both of that. Just try to get a holistic perspective. We also mentioned about, thank you Anna, we also mentioned about the cobra effect where the thinking process should not only not on getting something here and there, so that your mindset is all the time focusing on cheating or improving and all the thing. So as I stand in this stage also, very humbly I'm going to tell you some numbers before I get into the next one. Tata Consultancy Service, and many of you will get employed there. That is one of the biggest companies that comes to the campus. 6,12,000. So right now as we speak, Tata Consultancy Services, 6,12,000 employees are there. Infosys, 3,32,000 employees. HCL, 2,22,000. So these are big conglomerates, corporates now. And gone are the days of 1,000, 10,000 employees. It is all 6 lakh. You cannot even imagine 6,12,000 employees in one company. So you have a choice there. You have one choice there to take employment in a bigger company, bigger corporation, be a part of the cogwheel. Nothing wrong. It's a great company. It's a value-adding company to the globe and to Bharat. You can continue to focus on that. The second multiple options you have is higher studies. You want to improve yourself further, get into technical stream. Yes, one option. Start a company, create value addition in our country because India is an exciting place. Another option. Get into non-traditional sectors, civil service, teaching, NGOs, do an MBA, get into a corporate lifestyle. So this is also possible. Now my goal in the next few slides is to try and help you to make a choice. Because of the nature of work I do a bit now, the exposure that I have a little bit in public life. So my goal is to help you to push to make a choice so that after 4 years, you are positioned to make a choice that gives you happiness, and also you will make an impact to this world. Now, as we said, don't resist change, embrace it, because unintended consequences will work and it will take you to places finally where you want to go. People might call it karma, people might call it different names, but eventually it will happen. Now, this is a slide I've kept here, and people at the back, it might not be fully visible to you, I'll read it for you. In 1440, the movable type printing press got invented. You all know the name, it is Johannes Gutenberg who invented the printing press, 1440. The first printing press in England, it happened in 1476, which means quickly adapted technology. 1440 it came. In about 36 years, England had their first printing press. America was little late, 1539. So a good 99 years later, the Americans took that printing press to them. But if you look at Madras, the first printing press came in 1712, which is a good 272 years later, we got our first printing press. Goa got slightly early, 1556. Now, when the printing press came, different countries had a way of adapting to technology. Somebody wanted immediately, like England. Somebody just experimented for 99 years, they took it. Countries like England, because of the nature of problems that we had, the people who were governing us at that point of time, we took it a full 272 years later. So the story of a printing press, how it percolated down. So different people said different. A German monastery head said, I'll tell you, the man who uses printing press is only trying to conceal his own laziness. And Wilhelm Leibniz, along with Isaac Newton, sir, who created the calculus. Isaac Newton, you all know, the integral calculus was invented by him. So that the co-inventor, he said books might lead society to fall back into barbarism. So any technology that comes, at that point of time, if you go back and see the history, nobody accepts it. Everybody will resist it because it is disturbing a way of life. It is disturbing a set pattern of thinking. How we have lived till then, it is not acceptable to the norms of the present day. So we always resist. But right now as we speak, every minute the world is printing 274 books. For a printing press which we said it is barbarism, I will not accept it, it will only perpetuate laziness. And America adopted 19 years later, came to Chennai 272 years later. Every minute we are printing 274 new books we are printing. Because I'm speaking for the last 10 minutes. Last 10 minutes we have printed 2,740 books in the world. Now, I'll give you one more example. Now, this is a light bulb. Thomas Edison invented it, he got a patent. And 1880 he got a patent, January 27. So 11 years the Americans adopted, they installed a light bulb in the White House 1891. So we all adapted it fast because it was a no-brainer, it's a good technology, we all adapted faster. But if you look at that point of time, the newspapers, what they wrote, they mentioned, do we really need it when gas lights work? When all the gas lights are working very well, should we need electricity? Electricity will create issues, house will burn, people will die of shock, and current is flowing. You never know what will happen in the night after you're sleeping. This kind of theories were perpetuated. And when cars came, people said, when horses are running faster, why should cars we need? They said, can we make the horse to run faster? Why should we need cars? Because that's how the horsepower came in car. Because when horse were the normal mode of transport, that speed we equated to engine speed, so we got the word called horsepower there. So every single technology at that point of time, since you're an engineering student, if you go back, read history, we all opposed it, saying that the humanity opposed it, saying it is disturbing my way of living. It is disturbing a set pattern of working. When looms were there, before the hand looms came, the Luddites in England, if you see, again 1800, they went and broke all the looms, power looms, stating that you are disturbing our way of life. So now we have to understand, next 4 years, you will see a lot of technology into your life, whether you like it or not. This slide I've specifically kept it because you'll be exposed to a lot of technology. So I think by the time you pass out of campus and come out, possibly the world will see artificial generative intelligence, AGI we might see. We are just in AI and we are going at a breakneck speed. The computing power is growing enormously. By the time 2028, 2029, you will see AGI for sure. Computers might pass the Turing test also. It's a possibility. In 1950 he said, computers can never become intelligent than a human being. The Turing test is also on the verge. ChatGPT 4 couldn't break it. It came on the verge, it couldn't break it. And we are just waiting and watching how improvements they can bring to technology AGI. Now it is creating two kinds of fear. Okay, it is going to displace, it is not going to create jobs, it is going to create haves and have-nots with respect to technology. At the other end, we are also seeing an exciting future. Okay, cancer, we might see a cure. We might see a cure for a lot of diseases that we couldn't find a cure till now. But the example I'm trying to set in both this, the light bulb, the cars, and I'm going to set up with the printing presses. 200 years from now on, when the history is written, again for AGI, when somebody will make a slide, our words will be there, written there, saying that, no, if AGI comes, it will disturb our way of life, it will disturb employment, what will we do? But whether we like it or not, technology is here to stay. Driverless cars is here to stay, and possibly India will have a driverless car in a few years from now. You will also see that in your lifetime, the taxis will undergo a massive change. Once driverless cars, any of you going to San Francisco Bay Area now, you can board a driverless taxi now. Wyoming is there, Google runs it, you can just board it. It picks you at the spot, it drops you, it is visible for you. I still remember 10 years back, when they spoke about automatic cars also, I was a little apprehensive whether automatic cars will really come. Now every single car is an automatic. Nobody drives a geared vehicle. So technology is going to come, whether we like it or not. We've got to embrace it. You've got to find a possibility in that. Find a way for you to grow. Because next 4 years, I'm going to see you getting bombarded with so much technology. Consumer brands, manufacturing, the way we live our life, the choice selection that we have. So you got to guard yourself. Don't allow too many choices to spoil you. Be very clear what you want to do. At the same time, find a way to embrace this technology. Every new innovation was met with resistance, without a doubt, at different points of time. Just like how people are resisting artificial intelligence today, and it will also happen whether we like it or not. So this is the first part of the presentation that I had before I get into our country, very specifically where we are supposed to go in the next 20-22 years. Now it's a beautiful opportunity you have. We are one of the youngest country in the whole world. The median age is just around 29 years, and we have just become the world's largest populated country also, 144 crore, and a stable democracy. The number of unicorns we are registering is so high. Startup ecosystem number 3 in the world. We will see those numbers. So this is a great opportunity for you to make your mark, to unleash your potential, unleash your dreams, find areas you want to go and make a choice. Politics is also undergoing a rapid transformation as we speak. Possibly Tamil Nadu elections 2026 would be the last election without a 33% reservation for our mothers and sisters, women. And any election happening from 2026, 2029 Lok Sabha in Tamil Nadu will have 33% reserved for our women who are going to fight the election. We might have an increased seats. Right now we have 39 Lok Sabha. Once the census is happening in 2027, delimitation will happen. We will have more number of seats. And right now the number of MLAs in 2026 is 234. Possibly 2031 elections will have more than 450 MLAs there. So some of you might get into legislative assemblies, might get into member of parliament, you might become something in public life, and lot of things. Next 4-5 years, so many things are happening in our country, and just embrace it, don't resist it, find a way to go with the flow and get your potential fully achieved and unleashed. And also we have to understand, till now we entered PhD Tech. Possibly I'm looking back at my life. I've never traveled outside Tamil Nadu till I entered PhD Tech. I never moved out of my home city also, probably Karur and 2-3 other districts for education purpose. That was my maximum mindset. Karur, I studied in Namakkal, then I came here. And I'm sure many of you might have come like that. You might not have traveled much, possibly a couple of districts or possibly a state. Now the world is fast becoming interdependent and it's collaborative. Multiple languages, opportunities are more. Bangalore, Chennai, Pune, Gurgaon, as we speak. So talent will always go to opportunity. Talent will never get stuck someplace. Some states are growing faster, some states are growing slower. States like Tamil Nadu, population-wise, we are slightly decelerating compared to other states in our country. Our total fertility ratio is 1.7, meaning a woman should give birth to 2.1 children. Only then the birth and the death rate would be equal. When the rate goes below 2.1, the death would go higher than birth. So Tamil Nadu, Kerala, couple of states. So the death will start going up than birth, because we have reached that thing and we have hit 1.7. Kerala is at 1.6. The TFR, the number of children per woman. So in your lifetime, in the next 10 years, anybody in Tamil Nadu will see the population shift that is happening, the out-migration, in-migration that is going to change. Cities like Coimbatore, if you are part of, which are thriving industrial cities, will also undergo some changes based on the population nature. You will see all those things. I'm very sure in engineering, when you do over the next 4 years, you will get abreast of all this. Technology you will understand demography, you will understand a bit of economics, you will understand a lot of engineering, so that you are preparing yourself to go out and compete in the global world. And PhD Tech, anywhere in the world you go, and I think as we speak, in the Bay Area, they are holding a PhD Tech convention. I was told more than a couple of thousand people have registered in US. Anywhere in the world, any place you go, the alumni of PhD Tech will easily, even a small country will easily number hundreds, big country will easily number thousands. So it's a global power-packed alumni. Now, I-Tech and PhD Tech combining, it is going to be humongous. So now you got to carefully build your skill. So when I came into PhD Tech, I still remember my English was faulty. I couldn't even speak a proper sentence of English. Okay, I decided, okay, can I use this college as an opportunity to improve my English? When I came to PhD Tech, I was very shy, coming from a village. I said, can I use this opportunity to increase my interpersonal skills, sociable skills? Can I interact with more? Likewise, you might have certain bottlenecks that you might have identified. Use the 4 years as an opportunity to improve that, because once you get out into the global world, your skills matter, your competencies matter. It is going to be interdependent, and you got to be abreast with it. Forget about ideologies, forget about political talk, what happens, this language is superior, that language superior. We all take a lot of pride in our mother tongue, of course, because we are born into a mother who taught us that first language to our ears. That's the first language we hear. So mother language always holds a special place. But that shouldn't stop you from learning multiple languages to become a global citizen. Use the opportunity here to pick up new language and skills, because you should be a global citizen, traversing across the country, across the world, selling your product, selling your vision. You should be like that. And I'm just giving you an example to illustrate how complex the world is going to get. Interdependent and complex supply chain. Anything you pick up, you all have an Apple phone in your hand. So it's very easy to illustrate for me. So some of you might have an Apple phone, and some of you might buy in the near future, if at all you go to the iOS system. And anybody carrying an Apple phone in your hand. So this year, 2024-25, the completed financial year, we assembled Apple Incorporation company's cell phones here worth $22 billion outside China, and we have assembled more Apple phones in the world, and every 5 phones in the market, 1 phone is assembled in India. Over the last 2 years, we have done it. And we are one of the largest supply chain assemblers for Apple. But if you look at the Apple phone, what is there inside? You see a powerful processor, A15 processor, which comes from US. The display port interface comes from Netherlands. The flash memory comes from Japan. The microcontroller eSIM comes from Switzerland. The wireless charging receiver comes from US. The 5G modem from USA. The Wi-Fi module from China. Cameras from Japan. LIDAR scanner battery from China, display from South Korea. And a Nike shoe, which is assembled in Vietnam, the shoe comes from 11 different countries. Anybody buying a Nike shoe assembled in Vietnam, you are wearing it and running it in the morning. The parts come from 11 different countries, goes to Vietnam and assembled. So it's a complex supply chain. And PhD has got some excellent professors in operations and supply chain management. In engineering also, production engineering, other places you will study. So it is going to be very complex. And even within our country, the supply chain is going to be so complex, movement of goods from here and there. I only humbly request all of you to embrace this mindset of outward looking, seeing the world as an opportunity, seeing our country as an opportunity. Then you will start embracing other cultures more, start reading more. And in engineering, I would also request you, every year you pick up one non-Tamil book translation, read it. Pick up one Kannada, read it. One Telugu, read it. One Hindi, read it. Maybe a translated version of English, you read it. Maybe one Russian, you read it. Or a Spanish or a French or a German, you read it. Because after you go, you become so busy. Here, whatever the roots that you put, that will hold you steady for the next many years. Just to embrace change, just to push yourself to think further. It is not a bad idea to pick up another language book, 1 book a year. Get an English translation. Just sit down and read it at your free time, so that you will understand the greatness of other literature also. Tamil, of course, is the greatest language in the world. It is the original language. It is one of the oldest languages in the world, without a doubt. At the same time, embracing to accept other cultures. The best way to understand other culture is opening a book. Opening a book, reading a Kompu in Kannada, if you read it, you will understand the richness of it. Some books in Hindi, the shairis in Urdu, great ways of understanding it, learning it. So just embrace it, because your mind should be tuned. You should train your mind to see the world as full of possibilities, not get parochial. Because very quickly they become parochial. That is a problem for your growth in the future. I hope, I'm just giving you one example. So none of us, we manufacture in India right now. I'm looking forward to a day when guys from PhD high-tech, when you move out, then we should see something there made in India. So these are all very high-tech stuff. We are yet to enter that area, and we are putting a lot of emphasis to make in India now. Possibly your name should come there, where you will start making chips, you will start making some high-end things that will go into some of the greatest products in the world, that will touch the lives of 1 billion citizens of the world. Now we have come to our country. Where are we now in 2025? The so-called people who are lucky here, and because you are just young to be in a place to fully utilize the potential. You are just young. And in the Tale of Two Cities, Charles Dickens says, it was the best of the world, it was the worst of the world. He says the world is always a combination of best and worst. Your mind should be trained to pick up the best. So right now you're too young. You're at the right time where India is explosive, India is growing. So we look at some numbers to understand what is the potential you have in front of you to make a mark. So these numbers, I will just quickly read it for you. And December 2024 completed data in some cases, based on the census data in some cases. You look at it, 1.41 billion, we are 144 crore people now. Every year we are growing at 0.88%, less than 1% we are growing. Total fertility rate for the country is 2, but for Tamil Nadu is 1.7. Life expectancy, male 70 years, female 74 years. Literacy, we have just hit 80%. 80% of us are literate. Our GDP is at 4.1 trillion, 3.9, 4.1 trillion. We are growing at 6.5%. So we are the only country in the world that is growing at 6.5. No other country is growing at 6.5. If you look at the per capita basis, PPP, GDP in a nominal basis, dollar basis is 6.4 trillion. But per capita, if you look at it, we are at 17 trillion, the third largest in the world. Per capita basis of GDP is in India. The same basket of good, how much does it cost? So when you equate that, we are 17 trillion already. Per capita income, we are at $2,800. Exports, $825 billion. Imports, $909 billion. Right now, we have $700 billion of foreign exchange sitting in Reserve Bank of India. Our external debt is $736 billion. So you can usually see whatever debts we have borrowed, our reserves are more than the debt. Almost equal. I'm doing a comparison 1991 and 2025 just to understand where we have traveled now, because we are looking at 2047 in the next slides. 1991, where we are, population was 89 crore. We are at 144 crore now. Life expectancy in 1991 was 58 years, now 72 years. Literacy in 1991 was 52%, now 80%. So very clearly we are growing, and very clearly we have shifted an orbit in about 34 years from 1991 to 2025. We shifted an orbit. GDP growth rate 1991 was averaging 5.3%, now 6.57. GDP 5 lakh crore, now 331 lakh crore. Just look at the jump. 5 lakh crore 39 years later, now we are looking at 331 lakh crore. Again at current prices, US dollars, 275 billion. Now for a kind of information, Reliance is 245 billion. So 1991, our GDP was 275 billion. Now Reliance alone is 245 billion. So currently we are at 4.1 trillion. Per capita income, we are at $310. So right now $2,900. So very clearly we are growing very fast. And domestic investments last year, around $1 trillion worth of money we have put into the country as investments. So very clear numbers. And anybody who's young should see these numbers and get excited. South Africa, if I put the numbers for you, growth rate 0.1%. If I put Japan for you, growth rate 0.3%. If we put Americans for you, growth rate 1.7%. So any youngster who's looking at this number should get excited, because you are born in a country with beautiful potential and great opportunity, and you can make a life out of it. And what is interesting is that the slides that follow us in the next few slides to understand where we are going in the next 2 decades. Now to compare India and China, normally we are the two big countries now. It's a fair comparison. Now China is decelerated now. It has started decelerating. When we were studying engineering, China was the most exciting country. It was growing at a breakneck speed. If you look at China, the population 2024 end 141 crore, 141, we are 144. Now China has started growing down. So this year China lost about 1 million population, which is 0.54% came down. So China has started to lose its population, it will start coming down. We are growing at 0.88%. If you look at the Chinese life expectancy, male 5 years more, female they are 8 years more. Literacy they are at 97%, we are at 80.3. GDP they are at 20 trillion, we are at 4 trillion. GDP growth, China is at 4.6, we are at 6.5. Per capita PPP, we are 17 trillion, China is at 39 trillion. China has overtaken US in terms of PPP. The US is at 33 trillion, China is at 39. Again, per capita income, what is interesting is China is at $13,000, very important. For a population of 141 crore, per capita income, China is at $13,000. We are at 2,800, which means Chinese are 4.5 times richer than us. And any average Chinese, they are 4.5 times richer than an average Indian. Exports, just see the humongous exports there. China is at 3.58 trillion. Largest country in the world, 3.58 trillion. We are at 825 billion, way less. Imports, China is at 2.59 trillion. We are at 909. But the importance is China's exports minus imports. Here they added 1 trillion to their treasury. So our imports are more. Though we are exporting, we get dollars. We are importing more. We got to pay 75 billion extra from our packet for importing. So we are not saving any dollars. But look at China, $1 trillion they saved last year into treasury. 3.58, 2.59. They just added $1 trillion to their treasury. That is why the foreign exchange reserve, China is at 3.2 trillion. We are at 700 billion. So now we are just doing a fair comparison of two countries to understand where we are. And possibly these numbers will start getting, in about 10 years, we'll start getting these numbers, better numbers. And where China was in 2002, India is now. So China, where it was 23 years back, we have just reached there. And 2002, Chinese were at 3.8, 3.9. We are just there. And we got a lot of catching up, no doubt. And we all have to understand, if you have to build a $10 trillion economy by 2030, we got to grow at 20%, which is not possible, impossible growth. No country can grow at 20% CAGR. And realistic would be at 12%. Even if you keep 2033, we will hit $10 trillion. So most exciting country, lot of opportunity. 2030, the per capita income will jump to $5,625. We are at 2,800 now. This should excite you to stay back in our country. The reason I'm spending a lot of time is India is the most happening place. And you should consider staying back, consider studying here, consider starting a company, consider using all the talent pool, the largest middle class in the world, and train your mind from now on to create opportunities for you, decide what you want to do with your life. Because 2030, when we talk, we'll be in a different orbit. US, 2025, 30 trillion. 2029, 33 trillion. 2035, 38 trillion. They're growing at 2.5. Just look at the numbers. EU 22, they're growing at 1.5%. Next 10 years, they're expected to grow 1.5. Japan, next 10 years, expected to grow 1%. OECD countries, the richest countries in the world, they're expected to grow 2.3%. If you look at China, expected to grow 4%. India expected to grow 7%. Others expected to grow 4%. Rest of the world expected to grow 4.3%. The total globe is expected to grow 3.1%. So very exciting place, fantastic numbers, and possibly you're looking at a great opportunity. And more importantly, last year, 2024, 2025, full year, if the world 100 rupees got added into the world, we contributed 18 rupee out of that 100. Americans contributed only 11 rupee. But somehow Americans call us dead economy. That is politics. We will talk it some other day, some other time. So 100 rupees got added to the world last year. 18 rupees we added. Indians we added to the world. 18 rupees. US added 11 rupee. So that is why we are called the fastest growing country in the world. Great opportunity, great potential. Again, I'm giving these numbers in front of you. Tata Consultancy Service, 6,12,000. Infosys, 3,32,000. HCL, 2,22,000. These numbers, one side. Great companies, nothing against it. Fantastic companies doing great work. Other end, value creating companies that directly gets added to our country. The dollars don't go out. Unicorns, as we speak, 116 unicorns, companies created in our country that has got more than $1 billion valuation. We have 116 companies in India, started new, started fresh, which is classified as a unicorn startup. We have 116 companies. Like Americans, they have 700 companies. Chinese, they have 160. Now, we are expecting this 116 to touch 250 by 2030. The optimistic projection is 116 unicorns are going to be 250 by 2030, meaning that fast growth we are looking. So I'm 100% sure many of you will think entrepreneurship as an option, because for a country to grow, only entrepreneurs can grow the country and nothing else. They can only add a lot of value addition to the economic output. I'm sure you will keep looking at it. Again, some more projections you will see. And 2024, 25, 26, next 3 years projection, India stable 6.8 to 6.5. UK is at 0.5 to 1.7, Japan 0.9 to 0.8. If you look at the near term, far term, long term, whatever terms you're looking, and this is a very, very exciting country. Something that should make us proud as Indians, that I feel proud as an Indian, because where are we now? Steel. Our last year's data, we are the second largest producer of steel. We last year produced 148 million tons, second largest in the world. Cement, second largest in the world, 423 million tons. Two-wheeler, largest in the world. We produced 21 million units last year. Four-wheeler, third largest in the world. We produced 5.2 million units, 52 lakh. Construction, in terms of the square feet, we are the largest in the world, second largest in the world, 1.4 billion square feet. Information technology enabled service, ITES. Last year, we did a revenue of 254 billion. All the IT companies, all ITES put together, we built 254 billion. And just to compare basics, you all know which is the biggest country in the world which exports oil. Gas and oil Russia will do, gas Qatar will do, but pure oil, probably Saudi is one country that exports a lot of oil. Okay. Last year Saudi did 190 billion. So Saudi having oil reserves, it did $190 billion of revenue. So our IT enabled service alone is 254 billion. Electricity production, third largest in the world. Wireless phone, second largest in the world. So I'm just comparing to Japan, steel, and you can see small country, but still a comparison. If you compare to US, we produce 148 million tons, US 79 million tons. Cement 423 million tons, US 95 million tons. Four-wheeler we did 5.2 million, US did 9.8 million. But see where the US is surging ahead. Our IT enabled service total revenue we made is 254 billion, but US did 1,800 billion, because all the big guys are there. You have the Alphabets, the Googles, all the top behemoths, the global gorillas are sitting there in US. So we did 254, they did 1,800. This is the thing that is going to decide the next 10, 15 years. Guys like you will decide 254 jump to 1,800 or 3,000 with consumer brands, top brands in our country. We should have anything you open in your cell phone, it is US now. They kind of trapped you. And it is not a monopoly, it's a duopoly. You don't want Apple, you have Microsoft. You don't want this, second brand is also with them. Cloud, you want Amazon or Apple, that is also with them. So anything you want, the product is always with them. You don't want NVIDIA, then AMD is also with them. You want to make a chip. So this is where the youngsters like you, I think there is a great opportunity. You should think technology, innovation, core focus. And this is what the country wants from you. No cement, no steel, no more too many engineers in IT. But we want you to add value in financial sectors which will create brands for us. So this you can see where we are and where we have to go. Again, if you look at comparable slide, coal, second largest in the world, 988 million tons. Iron ore, third largest. Aviation, total number of passengers who flew in 2024, 21 crore people in India used an airplane. 21 crore people entered an airplane and came out. Third largest. Railway, fourth largest, 68,000 kilometer. Roadway, again 6 million kilometers we have, second largest. Ports, 819 million tons we handled. And for a kind of information, Shanghai port alone handles 1 billion tons. So port we are far lesser, we have to go there. Renewable energy capacity, textile we are second largest. And friends, this is a basic idea where India is. where we will go in the future in terms of projection, in terms of outlook, in terms of numbers, in terms of brands, in terms of where we are in terms of old industry, cement, steel, iron ore, where we need to be there in the future era of technology. Again, agriculture, great opportunity. Some of you would be looking at this as a very, very fertile sector. It is just exploding. And next 10, 15 years is going to be the era of agriculture, where a lot of great things you can accomplish. Food grains, we are second largest, 332 million tons. Milk, we are largest in the world, 239 million tons. Cotton, second largest. Horticulture, second largest. Sugar, largest. Spice exports, largest. Cropland, largest. Livestock, largest. We have 536 million cattle, all kinds of animals with us now. So again, agriculture is just exploding, and new laws coming in with the US tariff in. And some of you might look at a critical sector like agriculture for a great transformation in the future and to make a mark there. Manufacturing countries in the world, we are number 5. China, US, Germany and Japan above us in terms of manufacturing, adding value. And we are 1/10 of China. Just to break down those numbers, people sitting at the back, we are 1/10 of China in terms of manufacturing. Of course, we are a young population, as I said. And you see this, our median age, we are at 28.6, US is at 38.3. China is at 39.5 and UK 40.3 and others. So we are a young country, lot of potential, political willpower, a stable democracy, reforms happening at a pace that is unbelievable, and you being young, that is the most exciting factor. You are at 21, 22, 19, 20, whatever the age. When you pass out of engineering, you will be 22, 23, and you will have a large life ahead of you. You can definitely make a mark, and my only hope and prayer is that all of you will train your mind to think in terms of contributing to the country, in terms of adding value to this country. And you have clearly seen an Apple phone supply chain or the ITS exports. We are yet to get into a major breakthrough in terms of technology now. I'm sure you will get into that. And with this, I want to thank you for your patient listening. This almost have completed my whatever I have to say to you. That is one part, because I wanted to give this data to you. This data might be available in public domain here and there, but together when you piece it together and see it, that gives the potential that our country is going to offer you, the opportunities that you're going to get, and what you want to do in the future. And we are also entering into a phase when geopolitical trouble, we are seeing the Americans wanted to put a trade barrier, 50% any goods coming from India. Yes, it will be a short-term problem for us, but also a great opportunity for us. You could look at Americans. US, the number of Indians in US, 54 lakh people, 5.4 million, 54 lakh. Less than a crore, 54 lakh are there, total in US. But if you look at the number of Indian people in US who have founded a startup unicorn, 90 people. So the number of unicorns in US which has got an Indian founder is 90, but the total population is 54 lakh. So if you look at the median income, the highest earning group, again, Indian comes at the top. Among all the people in the US, the Jews, the white Americans, the Mormon Christians, the Bible Belt Christians. If you look at all the different geographical area of state of US, Indians again we top in terms of average per capita income. Again we are there. Having degrees, again we are number 1 in the US. The Indians in US, we top in all the parameters. Now the question we are asking is, why it is not happening in our country? Simple answer is, we never had the opportunity for you to go out on express. Now we have the opportunity. Every second day we are seeing an airport opening. Every second day we are seeing a metro train happening. Every second day a port getting built. Every second day we see, if you follow the Prime Minister here and there, where he is moving, you are seeing an infra that we are creating at a breakneck speed. And this is all for you. This is all for you. This is all for you to put it in service of you, for you to build the country to the next level. When I started my speech, I mentioned that you are really the pillars of this country. Why you are pillars of this country? Because you have a base to build a pillar. Without having a base, taking a mic and saying you are the future pillars, you are the future pillars, there's no point saying that. Now you have a base foundation. 163 airports. 10 years back, we only had 71 airports. Every year, 110,000 medical students adding into our country. If you look at the data, it is mind-boggling data. So we are building a country for the future, how US was in 1930, 1940. We are at that speed, that scale, that execution. And my humble request is, please make use of all this facility. When so much the country is building for you, so much the country is building for growth, when so much the country is building for adding value to our economy, I think you should find ways of using it. Okay, I'm going to start a company, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. How am I going to use all the resources to grow faster? Now, so many national highways coming, how can my lorries go faster? How can my transportation sector, logistics go faster? I'm sure you will definitely consider. As we speak now, you are in an engineering college. I'll just give one example to understand why engineering matters. Why engineering matters. Why people like Professor Mohan Ram matters. Why people like Professor Saravana Kumar matters. The people sitting in the front row matters. As we speak now, we are talking of artificial intelligence. We are talking of AGI, the next level, where AI can think like humans and perform my task without asking me. As I said, in the next 4 years, it might happen. We are in that frontier breakthrough now. But how will we make it happen? You got to have very powerful chips. Which country manufactures all the AI chips? Top countries in the world. A country like NVIDIA, which manufactures 90% of the artificial intelligence chips. Only one country. Only one company in US. 90% of AI chips they manufacture. When President Trump goes to Saudi Arabia, he wants to do a deal. He takes NVIDIA CEO Hunsen Zhang with him. Taiwan is settled in US, is an American citizen. He takes Hunsen Zhang with him. He sits next to him. And when Trump wants to do a deal, he says, okay, you do a deal with us. You buy this much from us. This guy will supply you chips. When President Trump goes somewhere, he takes this guy next to him, NVIDIA guy. He says, okay, you do this deal with my country. He will give you chips. So what is happening? A core innovation, a core engineering product that is determining how a country will shape up, how a country will grow. That is why engineering matters. That is why core engineering matters. All of us are bound by certain companies that have trapped us. Certain companies that have trapped us. And to break through it, we got to do a lot of technology within our country, manufacture products. Again, the next thing, if you go, okay, now chips have come. I have to etch those semiconductors. That I have to do an etching process. Correct? Now who does it? Again, you look across the world. 94% of the etching of superior AI technology, it happens in only one company in Taiwan called TSMC. Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company. Only one company. 94% they do it. All of us, we can only buy now and assemble. Okay, TSMC, who supplies machines? Only one company in Netherlands which supplies that machine. So TSMC is bound to that Netherlands company, which manufactures that lithography machines. Only that company is the market leader. So you see one company in Netherlands who's a market leader. One company in Taiwan who does the etching at that 3 nanometer level in that foundry. He is the leader. One company in US called NVIDIA, which manufactures chips of that level. Only one company. Now this is where we want the core engineering talent to stay back in our country, to think big. And you should not take engineering very lightly, and more than any other subject in the world. Because engineering trains your mind for 4 years to think in a certain way. That is why engineers, when they come out, they shine in every single field. Because your mind is getting trained in an engineering discipline. You look at life very differently. You start looking at nature very differently. Because you're looking at cause and effect all the time. So it's a privilege to be an engineer. It's an honor to be an engineer. And all of you have chosen to be an engineer here, studying in one of the finest colleges in our country. And you should use your mind, apply innovation, to create something, nurture something, add value to our country. I'm just giving you one example. Yesterday, Americans said 10 days back, okay, you cannot supply chips to China. They said, NVIDIA, you cannot supply chips to China. China is growing very fast. You look at Chinese AI companies growing very fast. They said, you cannot supply chip. This NVIDIA went and met the American president. They said, no, we will supply. Because if we don't supply, Chinese will find a way to match our chip standards. Yesterday, the Americans have signed an order saying, okay, you supply chip, but 15% of profit you give it to me. This is very funny. In capitalism, the thing we say, the business of a government is not to be in business. What is capitalism? The business of a government is not to be in business. Government should not be in business. And yesterday, the Americans, the so-called capitalist country, it has made a deal with NVIDIA to say, okay, you supply chips to China, no problem. A chip called H20. 15% of that profit you give it to me, so you are allowed to supply. So 2 billion America gets, and Nvidia sells 14-15 billion dollars. So it's probably the beginning of the end of the American hegemony. So in your lifetime, you will see America is in this last desperate measure to hold on to its technology, hold on to its measure, because China is breathing down its neck. Now you guys have to make sure the bridge between India and China is so vast, it's 4.5 times they are ahead. So only with technology we can break through. 60% of our population is dependent on agriculture, which is unproductive. And some of you here, good engineers, you should find a way to go and solve this problem. 60% of our country, of employable population, is stuck to agriculture. I am a farmer, son of a farmer, 7th generation farmer. But we couldn't make agriculture productive. Fragmented lands, don't have technology, cropping is a problem, irrigation is a problem. So right now technology is not coming in. Micro irrigation, a lot of things you guys can really do it, can make an impact. Because you understand 60% of our population, we haven't fully realized our potential. And that I think should excite you. Sitting in this room, you should see a problem that is bigger than your life. You shouldn't see a small problem. Again, I'm telling you, Tata Consultancy Service, 6,12,000. Again, I'm telling you, Infosys, 3,32,000. Again, I'm telling you, HCL, 2,22,000. Nothing against the company. Do you want to go add 1 to TCS to say, I am 6,12,001 employee from PSG iTech who have come here? Again, nothing against TCS, it's a great company, it's a great brand. Or you will tell yourself, I'll be the first guy from PSG iTech to do this. Nobody before me has entered this field, but I will solve this problem. Because that is the story of NVIDIA. Everybody manufacturing chips. Intel was manufacturing chips. Where is Intel now? First time Intel showed a loss last year, 2023, 2024. Intel company's first loss. Because they couldn't match up to NVIDIA. Such a small company, focused. Only on this chip they focused. Only on high-end chips they focused. By the time Intel realized, okay, this company is so good at what they are doing, by the time Intel wanted to shift to high-end chips, NVIDIA is already there. And Intel just fired 1/6 of their workforce. 1/6 of their workforce. TCS fired 12,000. And the TCS CEO said, we are getting adjusted to artificial intelligence. We are trying to understand how it is going to impact our workforce. So first step, we have fired 12,000 employees of the company. We are trying to understand, because it's a very volatile world also. Every company is trying to balance, trying to understand how AI is going to impact, how the workforce is going to get impacted. As we speak now, the great production professors. There are many factories in the world that are called dark factories. You don't even have a single employee inside. So lights are switched off. It is a dark factory. Some of the electric cars in China are getting manufactured without a single person inside. Multiple spot welding robots inside making it. Some of your cell phones, they come from dark factories. Not even a single person inside. Every assembly happens, it comes out. Every Foxtron, which major supplier of Apple iPhones in China, many of their factories are dark factories. You don't even switch on the light. Just put a lock outside the door. It will manufacture everything, pack it, load it to the tray, just take the car out, take the vehicle out. So you're also seeing a lot of shift in production process. So that, being an engineer, entering in the frontier age, we got to understand how it is going to impact me. And how am I going to be one step ahead of it. So last but not the least, I only hope and pray. Politics is changing without a doubt. It is changing for the better. It will change for the better. We need more MPs without a doubt. 543 MPs is too less. We need more MLAs. 234 is so less for Tamil Nadu. We need more. We need more women in politics. Right now it's 4.5%. So 2026 getting over, 2029 Lok Sabha, we will have 33% of some of you sitting here, outside, will be sitting in our parliaments. They bring a lot of empathy. They bring a lot of honor to those halls. So in front of you, everything is changing. Everything is changing. And nothing is going to remain constant. Technology is going to change. Companies are going to change. Hiring methodology is going to change. And I'm very sure that you will embrace. That is why a lot of slides I focused. Don't resist change, embrace it. Don't fight for it. Just go with the flow. Understand new areas. Read more. Use the library better. The biggest sin we all have committed is we use the library far less. And you should use the library more. Pick up books. Have this habit of reading and understand where it is going. Read outside your textbook. So all you're looking at is 365 into 4. You're looking at what, roughly 370, it is 740. 1480 minus 20, you're looking at 1460 days, roughly. 1460 days, you're looking at a diary page. When you look back at your life after 1460 days, if you have more empty pages, okay, this day I haven't done anything, oh, this day I went to library, read an exciting book. Don't maintain account of your class. Class will happen. Whether you go there or not, Professor Mohan Ram sir will handle his class. It will happen without you or with you. So that we are not bothered. We are bothered with maintaining a diary of your own account. Okay, I went to library, I read an exciting book, great. Oh, I read this new concept, fantastic. Today some speaker came, okay, he said this, okay, fine, fantastic. So every day, are you maintaining an account of yourself? Because after you pass out, you are accountable to the society. Now you are not accountable. Nobody will ask you questions. Moment you pass out, day one, relatives will ask you, which company you're getting? I got this. Looks like that guy got that. So it is going to be a comparison. Salary, you will say I got 10 lakhs. Looks like that village guy got 15 lakhs. Comparison. No higher study, he went to Stanford. You will say, no, I'm studying here. I'm not doing a PhD. So you are not accountable to anybody for this 1460 days. 1460 days is you alone. Nobody is judging you, nobody is accounting you, nobody is asking you questions. But the moment you pass out, we will ask questions. What are you doing? What are you contributing? How is the nation growing? So it's a privilege to be a student. It's a great honor to be in PSG iTech. It is the greatest honor to be young. And more importantly, it is a fantastic honor to be foolish also. Because why you use the word called foolish before I end is, sometimes the path you take, which is not the traditional path, people might call you a fool. It's okay. It's okay. So if you want to take a path which is not taken by many people, but if your heart is there, just take it. Because the reason is, like printing press, like cars, people only see then. People don't see the future. If you're able to see a future and take a risk, okay, this is where I want to go, let me take a risk now, even if it is not popular at that point of time. But if your heart says go for it, you should do it. And I'm very sure some of you will be fools enough to take that risk 4 years from now and take that path, embrace it, make a change, make our country great. And thank you for this great honor of me coming here. You give this honor to talk to you, the first year and the second year. Have a great, wonderful 4 years. Make our country great. Thank you so much. God bless you all.
We would request you